There better not be any more beanies, though. I'm not like this better not be the year of beanies.
I'm not giving anything away.
Oh dear me.
Hello and welcome to a Eurovision Millinery video. My name is Ilona, I'm a milliner based in London, and today I shall be ranking the headwear and hats as seen in the Eurovision Song Contest 2022. Last year I did that alone, and I do recommend that video as a prerequisite before you watch this one, so I shall link to it right here in the top right. This year I'm not alone, I'm joined by my millinery friend from all the way across the oceans from Australia. Hello, John.
Hi everybody, how are you doing? I am John of JW Millinery, and I'm here to roast these hats. Like, I expect perfection, okay? So if I don't see it, I will be telling you.
Let me start by explaining the tier system to you and everybody else watching. 12 points, beautiful and stylish hats. 10 points, the hats exist, but they're not stunning. 8 points. There's hats in the music video or in the stage performance, but not both. 4 points, an attempt at hats was made. That one sounds a bit weird, but it will make sense. And 0 points, obviously, no hats, no points.
Okay, right. It's got to be beautiful and stylish to get, I can't speak French, 12 points.
Yes.
But I'm looking for, I have not looked, I've purposely not looked, so these are going to be fresh.
What I've already done is placed all the hats with 0 points in the 0 tier, so we don't even have to talk about them, we don't have to mention the countries. As far as we're concerned, they don't exist because they chose not to wear a hat. How could they?
Tragic.
We're going to go through in alphabetical order, starting with Albania. Albania can only get a maximum of a 8 points because they only have hats in their music video. We've got executioner hoods and leather helmets. We've got a beanie. Anyone who's watched the previous video knows how I feel about beanies at Eurovision. We've got a little hair bow, which I've included as a little hair accessory. They tried there. And then we've got a little bejeweled pearly ruby crown.
This is not giving me glamour at all. Beautiful and stylish, I think not. I like the idea of the executioner's hood. Like, that's very different. You know, you don't usually see something like that. We don't do 6, do we? I would say 4, because a bow is a bow. That's not a hat. A crown is a crown. That's not a hat. A beanie is tragic. I don't know who wear beanies. So out of this, executioner's hood, I would personally say a 4.
I agree with you. I think it's not good enough to reach the maximum 8 points that it is allowed in its grouping. Oh, I missed this one. We gave it 4 points without this.
No. It's on her head, and it's not where it's supposed to be in terms of hair, so therefore it's a hat.
Do they deserve 8 points for the broom on the head?
See, I would call this the wig shop gone wrong.
The travelling wig salesman.
The travelling wig salesman. Oh my God, that's iconic. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
We're bumping up Albania to 8 points. Armenia.
Next. Let's just, no. 4 is like, there was an attempt. It was a hat.
Yes,
okay, fine.
This is what I mean by the beanies. It's the same as Georgia last year, but this time it's blue. They put some color in. It's not black.
It's giving me like, I'm lost in the woods and I've got nothing else to do. This is the thing, right? Was it Dior? Dior a couple of years ago did beanies with veiling. It doesn't take a lot to glamorize a beanie. A few sequins, a bit of glitter. If you don't want it to sparkle, stick a veil on it.
I love that as a motto. 4 points. Australia.
My current home turf. I'm drawn to this because it's weird. It's not a hat.
If it attaches somewhere along the hairline and it has some body to it, it counts as a hat, in my eyes.
I would say this is a hair accessory with a face fringe, which I'm here for.
I am willing to take on board your criticism that it might not be a traditional head holding hat, but I cannot go lower than 10 points.
10? I would say 8, because it is pretty fabulous, but it's not a hat.
Fine, you can have this one, but
Thank
I
you.
reserve the right to break my no higher than 8 points rule later on in the video for one exception.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, so Australia, wheat point,
Okay.
Austria. Unfortunately, as with many of the previous ones, hats in music video only. Now, does this count as a hat, John? I would call this a bejeweled 20s style skull cap.
You see, it is kind of like hair jewelry as opposed to a hat. However, this one's giving me more fabulous than the last one.
It's not just sparkle, it's sparkle plus pearl.
It looks like it's been handmade, whereas the other one just like jewels with a fringe. Is this the one that you're going to reserve, or is it a different one?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Well, what would you give this?
I think it deserves the maximum of 8 points, purely because there is a matching choker.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh,
there is a hint of a Princess Diana choker there with the matching pearls.
Yeah. No, I agree. 8. Definitely.
Austria,
yeah.
Wheat point. Azerbaijan, the beanie strikes again. Is this a beanie?
This is the hipster beanie.
I am very against beanies. They offend me.
Your hatred for beanies, my hatred is bucket hats. So there better not be a bucket hat on this, because if there is, I'm literally done. Oh, I hate bucket hats. Absolutely hate them. I like this. He's handsome. He's selling it very well. I think he deserves 4 points.
That is the minimum number of points required for even wearing a hat. So an attempt at hats was made. Maybe next year they could pop a veil on it.
Oh, let me find a veil and stick it on. I've got plenty around. Here you go. Here's a veil. Just stick this one on. Oh.
Belgium. I would describe this as macrame sensory deprivation hoods.
Yes. And I'm here for every single one of those.
They almost look like the character from Pirates of the Caribbean, the octopus captain. It's almost like that. I am inclined to give this the maximum amount of points that it is allowed, which is 8, because it's so different. I look at that, and firstly, I think, oh, that's interesting. And then secondly, I think, what would it be like to make one of those? And then I think, what would it be like to wear one of those?
I don't think I would like to make one, but I think I'd like to wear one.
I think that says a lot about you, John.
Begrudgingly.
Bulgaria. You know the rules. Maximum 8 points if it's in the music video or on stage only. Bulgaria have found a loophole in my system. They are wearing a beanie on the stage, but they have a fabulous, once again, another sensory deprivation hood. And if you notice in the background of the music video, someone is wearing a kind of fedora trilby thing in the background. Does the sensory deprivation hood deserve more than 8 points? Or does the black beanie on the keyboard player bring them down to 4 points?
You've got everything. You've got horrible beanie, you've got standard menswear, and then you've got fashion. It's beautiful, but the bondage hood, I don't think it's strong enough to warrant full points.
I actually agree with you. If we're comparing the sensory deprivation hoods of Eurovision 2022, the macrame octopus is better than the Swarovski balaclava.
Was it Swarovski?
Well, I don't know. It looks sparkly to me.
Oh.
I don't know if it's Swarovski or if it's just those kind of metal studs.
It's very bondage, isn't it? Oh my God. Eurovision's getting kinky. I would say the last one was a soft 8. I think this is a soft 8.
Cyprus, boaters. These boaters are fabulous. They're classic. There's nothing special about them, but They look incredibly well made. And I love the fact that they're wearing the boaters with a very, very long black ribbon that's tied multiple times under her chin, which is exactly how I love to wear a boater. They are just stunning with those flowy white wedding dressy tulle things. And another thing I actually thought was quite interesting about these boaters is there's a ribbon coming from underneath it, which it's obviously head-sized. And then the ribbon is coming underneath the chin and being wrapped around to hold it in place with a pretty bow. But for example, the boater that I have, the ribbon is inserted from the top to the underneath, but this one has no trim on the outside whatsoever. And if I was making something like this, I think I'd get a bit scared and put off by not putting a trim on it. But time and time again, when I get confronted with a hat like this that has no trim, the shape is just perfect, it just makes me want to cry with how beautiful the proportions are.
See, this is an aesthetic that I could never do. It's so serene. It's so effortlessly just simple. I'm team too much. Stick everything in your cupboard on it and then everything else. Those outfits are just to die for. And I know we're not ranking the outfits, but that's a 12.
We can't push the rule too far, but I think they deserve 10 points because it's just so beautiful.
10?
Yes. This is, I'm pulling my rule breaking card here. You got to put Australia down a tier. I get to put Cyprus up a tier.
Okay. You held that one close to your chest there.
Denmark. Some acts have decided to use their stage performance as their official music video, and Denmark falls into that category. They kind of subvert my system a little bit because they've said, this is our music video and our stage performance. So they are allowed to get more than 8 points.
They're not going to get more than 8 points. Let's just be real.
This is not something that I have strong opinions on. 70s ABBA vibe, and she's got this snazzy 70s matching suit.
Matchy, I'm not a big fan of, but sometimes when it's a strong colour, it's just a hat.
Is this an attempt at a hat, or is it more than an attempt at a hat?
You could go to the thrift store, charity shop, and find this. You know, it's just like, oh, we need an accessory.
To be honest, you could just buy a cape lean and do that.
Yes, pretty much. You don't need a stylist for this. You could just literally just buy and put it on your head, done.
I agree with you. It's an attempt at a hat. It is a hat. It's not a special hat. And when you're on stage and the spotlight is on you, you want that hat to be special. And unfortunately, Denmark, very sorry, it is not special enough. 4 points.
Nah.
Estonia. So this hat does appear on stage and in the music video. It's like a split second on stage. Blink and you'll miss it, but it counts if we want to give it more than 8 points. But I have a feeling we probably don't want to give it more than 8 points. It's not quite a cowboy hat. It's got a little pork pie dimple at the top and just flat fedora brim. Cowboy Wild West attire with a matching poncho. What do you think, John?
Menswear's hard for men to do something glamorous because men don't want to be glamorous. And men's hats are generally quite boring. It looks like it potentially could be made out of leather. Maybe
suede, because I don't think it's reflecting the sun in a way that leather would. I think there is a leather hat coming up, not to spoil anything too much. But this looks a lot more suede-y. Like, in fact, I'd kind of be convinced that this might be like a merino wool felt that's been incredibly tightly packed in. A really, really good quality cape lean, or maybe even beaver fur.
You see, I slightly disagree. I think, because the reason why I said leather is because there's something about the texture that gives me pigskin. Basically, the only reason why I say that is one of my very first retail jobs was in a hat store, and we had pigskin and they just had that same, not quite leather, but duller texture. And I'm like, is that? I don't know. Regardless, it's an attempt.
Even if it's made out of an interesting material, it's still only an attempt.
Yeah, menswear's boring. Stick a crystal on it.
Estonia, 4 points. Finland, they've got this kind of punk rock vibe. And the lead singer has got dangly feathers from his hair, which I think is pretty cool. But John, you're going to argue that it's not a hat because you've made that stance pretty clear already. But
Yep.
there's also Mickey Mouse ears.
Can we just move on to the next one?
Are we just not even ranking Finland?
Nil point. Like, no.
Can I give them 4 points pity points for trying?
Oh, okay.
Moving on to Georgia, there's a lot going on. This is the music video.
Jesus.
There's also staging, and they're slightly different. This is the music video. It's a circus performance. So they've got a guy in a chicken bird costume with a swimming cap around his head. So, I mean, that counts as headwear, even though it's not spectacular, but it fits the outfit. Then you've got a juggler on stilts wearing a velvet fez or smoking cap or something. It's got a nice little trim around the edge of it, which I thought was just really nice. They fit the theme. But then my favorite was the lady on roller skates who's wearing a triple tiered fez. But it also reminded me of the famous Balenciaga hat. Don't you think they look similar?
Yes, this is my favorite hat, pretty much of all time. Balenciaga hat. It's so simple. And I've tried to recreate this sometimes and I just can't get it right. It's beautiful. And it's...
Have you seen the x-rays of inside it? That could help you make it.
No.
There's x-rays.
This was the first thing that I thought of. Milliners think alike. From what I can see of this is not off the shelf.
Oh no, definitely not. I think they're definitely all made for this specific music video. I'm also getting Mrs. Maisel vibes from the roller skating lady. I think it could just be the size of hair.
There's a lot you can take from this. I'd love to see you make this. This is very much in your remit. This is in your remit.
It is. Okay.
Look out for that video coming soon to a channel near you.
Would you like to see the stage performance?
Oh, so there's more. Oh, okay. Yeah, yes.
There's more.
Please.
Are you ready? I am going to try and convince you for 12 points because we spent so long discussing how amazing the roller skating lady's hat is, and shall forever be fabulous.
Let's give them dues points.
Yay. I'm going to go out straight away and say this is 4 points or nil points. The only hats in this music video are of the singer as a child up on his wall in his flat.
At least it's not a beanie.
I think that's our motto for Eurovision headwear. At least it's not a beanie. 4 points.
Oh.
We come to Iceland. So this is the leather hat.
And the leather hats. Okay. I take back my leather statement earlier. This is definitely a leather hat. So
let's put them in between Denmark and the cowboy Estonia hat that we couldn't decide whether it was pig leather or something else. Latvia. Okay. So the concept is fun. It's like a dating show. We've got one of the contestants wearing a standard flat cap. It suits his character there, I think. But then they've got this lovely audience shot of a lady wearing a black beret on an angle. And I think she just looks ever so stylish that I'm inclined to give this 10 to 8 points.
You're being generous. You show me something that's off the shelf and I'm going to be like, next. Where is the custom work? I want to see custom work.
Fine, you've convinced me that it's all off the shelf and it doesn't deserve the 8 points. But maybe I can convince you that it deserves to be the first in the 4-point tier.
There's multiple hats, so that's a plus. The hats suit the people. They're showcasing hats. It's a begrudging 8. Australia, I'd like to up them.
You see, I thought this would happen. Shall I bump Australia up a tier to 10 points?
Yes.
This has been a standout experience for me. I have watched this music video about 5 times. Music video quality was up there with Georgia. We've got a fabulous red velvet beret. The seam on it is a triangular zigzag and it makes it puff out in the most beautiful way. Then we've got a standard straw trilby. That's nothing special. We've also got a fedora. But then what I really liked was that the maid is wearing a little maid's headdress. And I just thought that was so cute and so elegant. You could have just put her in the little maid trolley outfit, but someone thought, no, let's put a hat on her head. And I really appreciate that.
You're known as the vintage queen, so I'm going to let you lead on this. I can already see from this photo, like that beret has a lot of work in it. That is a beautiful beret. That's not off the shelf.
I think the red velvet beret should get the top 8. Well done, Moldova. You get
well done.
8 points. Montenegro.
Oh, this. Oh, woman, why did you not wear this on stage? Because I would have given you 12.
Exactly. It looks like it's fitted to her head. It doesn't look like it's being held on with chin straps, but it kind of looks like it's being held on to something inside her jacket. So I think the fastening of this is very clever. It's clearly been custom made for this video. But unfortunately, the maximum it can receive is 8 points.
And that is such a shame, because this is beautiful. This is giving me like futuristic Game of Thrones.
Montenegro, well done. 8 points, but at the top. Netherlands.
No, next. Let's move on. That's a helmet.
Have you heard about this song? It's been doing the round.
No, I've not really seen a lot of Eurovision.
The lyric goes thusly: before that wolf eats your grandma, give that wolf a banana.
Okay.
Philosophy for the modern day. I love it. I'm just going to say straight away, 12 points.
Yes, I agree. I don't know what is going on, but I want to know.
This is Eurovision.
Yes. Like, I don't know why, but I love it. Technically, is it a hat?
I'll tell you why it's a hat. I think the only person who could have made these is someone with a theatrical millinery background, like Rachel from La Bricolous on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Maybe they could have put a few Swarovskis on the glasses or on the teeth, but then it kind of makes it too complex. But this is such a striking shape with just plain colors, jagged edges. It's definitely got a theme. The song is great. The dance is great. I love the yellow. This is the Eurovision spirit.
Yeah, and it's such a good color. It's not lemon. It's not true yellow.
It's buttercup.
I'm here for every single bit of this.
Poland.
Oh my word.
We are back to the sensory deprivation hood idea. I would just say 4 points because it's an attempt at headwear, but that's the maximum I'm willing to give it.
Yeah. There's a variation. Someone's got a full length veil on. Someone's in black. Someone's in a transparent grey.
I'm going to move Poland to 4 points. Slovenia. I was really scraping the barrel.
Nil point. Sorry.
I knew that was coming.
She's cute. I love her little freckles. I'm loving her. I think her outfit is beautiful. I love the hair clip. I do love good hair clip. But a hair clip is not a hat. And I'm here to rate hats. So, no.
I'm sorry to have wasted your time. Switzerland. These are not the singers. These are the stars of the music video. So maximum 8 points. Hear me out, John. They're not hats.
Okay.
Yes, I agree they're not hats. However, what I really liked was the cardboard helmet that the little boy is wearing. And the reason I like that is because as milliners, one of the tools that we have to create hats is making a mock-up in a 3D material such as cardboard, just to get the proportions. And this really reminded me of that process. It's definitely an attempt at hats, because for many milliners, if they like to work in this kind of 3D tactical way, this is how a hat starts.
I'm from a different school of millinery. I'm from a school where you just do it, and if it goes wrong, you just adjust. But there's something special about this image. I'm going to let you decide.
I'm not going to give them the maximum of 8 points, because I think that would be unfair to the other winners of the 8-point category. But I will give them the first ranking in the 4 points tier. United Kingdom. Hats, they're hats, but it's really lazy. I still think it's 4 points. It's just not good enough.
It was an attempt. And we're not even discussing this black cap. Oh, no. Oh, get me out of here. I'm a celebrity. Well, I'm not a celebrity, but get me out of here.
I love it. I think it's so striking. So this is Ukraine. If you go and watch the music video after this, you will notice that they're wearing very traditional patterns and shapes in their clothing. The rest of them look totally normal. This is a rapper, and he's wearing a bright pink. In fact, I would say it looks like it's Schiaparelli's shocking pink colored bucket hat. And I think it's been knitted. It's kind of got that look as though it's been knitted by your grandma. The
colour is beautiful. I love the colour. I don't think in 2022 we should be celebrating men wearing pink, because they should have been wearing it years ago. Like,
I absolutely agree with you. But I think what we can celebrate here is that it's so clashing with all the reds and the oranges, and then they've just thrown this magenta pink into the mix, and it's so striking that it really makes you pay attention to his bit in the music.
From a styling point of view and the colour, an 8. I have a feeling that you might want to put that off.
I think I do. I kind of want to give it 10 points, but
for a bucket hat.
I know, and I never thought I would say this, but I think this is the only bucket hat I have ever seen that I like. Normally, we give out lots of points for people having lots of hats on stage. He is the only behatted individual, but they've done him so well with that hat that it's actually playing to their advantage that no one else is behatted and this one person is. I feel like hats are a way to express ourselves. They're a continuation of our personality. And when one wears a hat, one is making a statement. And this guy is making a statement.
Okay, you're convincing me. This is not 12. I cannot give 12 to a bucket hat, period.
They deserve to go into 10-point tier. We've done all the ranking. We're now on to theme spotting, which is personally my favorite bit of the whole thing.
Yes.
Theme number 1. This is clearly a classic theme for all Eurovision Song Contests. Sparkly things. We had Austria with the face veil beaded skull cap thing. We had Australia with the dangly face accessory. And then I thought I'd throw in Sweden, because Sweden clearly looked at the brief that said sparkly dangly, but then decided to interpret it as a top, which is a shame, because I think she could have just put that on her head and she would look fabulous. Beanies. So last year, I think there was only one beanie, and that was Georgia. And for some reason, that's really stuck in my mind because it was a black beanie and it was really boring. And this year, we've had 2 beanies and they've both been blue. So we've got blue beanies this year.
The thing is, right, and this is no disrespect to Armenia, it's literally just a beanie on a head. At least Azerbaijan is a variation on a bean.
This is the last theme, sensory deprivation, and I really hope this video doesn't get demonetized. We had Bulgaria with, we hypothesize, silver-studded kind of balaclava.
Yeah.
We had Belgium with the macrame octopus things. We had Poland with their black hoods over their heads. And I kind of threw in Norway because they're wearing a morph suit, and it's just a similar concept of just cover the whole head. The sensory deprivation theme really reminded me of Kim Kardashian's look at the Met Gala where she was wearing Balenciaga. Everyone at the time thought it was weird, but clearly Balenciaga knows what he's doing and he's ahead of the curve because he's inspired many Eurovision looks this year.
Yes. And to be honest with you, when I saw this Kim K Met Gala thing, I was like, this is kind of iconic. Who'd have thought?
This is why I like doing these videos, because it gives me a time to reflect on some themes that we've seen throughout the year, some influences, and how things all come together into one hatting universe.
I would like to add a theme. We clearly have gone through a period of time where people just did things themselves, like styling. Where is the styling? People have been working from home and think they can style themselves now. No, like, where was the fashion? Where was the fashion? That was my theme. No stylist. Right. Now, what I want to do is show you my most iconic piece from Eurovision.
Oh, yes. I know exactly what this is. This is Vera Serduchka wearing the pointy star on her head.
This is like high camp. This is Eurovision to me.
This is the most iconic Eurovision look ever. On that note, we should wrap up, say goodbye, and do an outro.
Make sure you follow me on all socials. I am at j.millie on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
And you can follow my work and keep up to date with my hatting progress on Instagram at Ilona Millinery. You can also support my work via Patreon or by giving me a tip on Ko-fi. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. This really helps me grow and reach a larger audience. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining me, John. It has been so much fun. See you all next time.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye. Do you know, one of us should literally just come out with some merch and it's just like, at least it's not a beanie.
Oh, I know. Boaters with printed ribbons.
Yeah, at least it's not a beanie. Perfect.